What's up guys, it's Cam coming at you from the 2-6. Welcome back to CFR. Summer has officially launched here in North Carolina. It is very, very hot, very humid. We have had monsoons of rain and rain and rain. Then when that sun comes out, it just pulls all that moisture out and it's a big, hot, sticky mess. So for me, I like to wear very calming and refreshing, even cooling fragrances. Certain notes like iris and bergamot, and especially like tea and fig, work perfectly. Stay tuned for 10 of my most refreshing fragrances for summer. Okay, before I get to number 10, I am going to break out an honorable mention that actually would be much further up on my list if it wasn't discontinued. I am talking about Givenchy Pour Homme. This is one of the best tea fragrances. It is absolutely, it is appalling that it's been discontinued. It is what it is. I did a review on this fragrance a little while back and there were people in the comments that were, telling me alternatives. One of them was like Him from Hane Mori, and the other one was Tea for Two from L'Artisan Parfumier. I haven't tried either one of those, so I cannot vouch for either one of those, but I have seen several people in the comments of my own videos recommending them. Yeah, I can't wear this one too much because it is very expensive and hard to find. Let's go ahead and get to number 10. Okay, coming in at number 10 is a very light and easy to wear fragrance that I would just wish had a little bit better performance, but it does do the trick. And I am talking about Gentleman Cologne from Givenchy. This is just a light citrus and floral fragrance. It's very, very fresh, so very easy to wear, non-offensive. It does almost have like a cooling effect. This is a perfect fragrance to wear like right after the shower, especially if you're getting ready to head out into like 90 plus or 100 degree weather like we do here in North Carolina. Some of the notes in this one are lemon, bergamot, and musk primarily. You do get a little bit of like an iris fusion with that citrus and then a slightly earthy dry down with the musk. It also has some ambroxan, but it doesn't really help with the performance, but altogether a very easy fragrance to wear and it smells fantastic. The next fragrance is also a very easygoing citrus and floral fragrance. It is Sunday Brunch from Kieran NYC. I have talked about this fragrance in the past. They use very good ingredients, a lot of naturals. They are, animal cruelty free, vegan. They're all about like the environment and everything. So if that's important to you, this is a brand that definitely supports that. And they have very good quality fragrances and they won't break your budget. Now this is a citrus tea fragrance that has some bergamot, lemon, jasmine, and tea. The performance on this one isn't that bad either. I get a good 6 hours of performance with this. So for a really fresh and cheery, uplifting fragrance, not bad at all. And like I said, won't break the budget either. Coming in at number 8 is a fragrance that I have talked about numerous times and for good reason. It's actually like one of my favorite fragrances to wear during the summertime and it is very much a relaxing fragrance. It is Linen Vetiver from Banana Republic. This one generally runs around $25. For $25, you're not gonna find much better of a fragrance for what you get in this little bottle right here. Very easygoing, very uplifting, very clean. In the evenings after I get off work, after I get out of the shower, I love spraying this one on, or early in the morning, take a shower, put this one on. Non-offensive, but you do feel very, very clean. And it's a very cheery fragrance. Some of the notes in this one are bergamot, cardamom, iris, vetiver, and musk. This is a very, very clean vetiver in this one. Some of those vetivers can be a little bit earthy. This is a very green vetiver. And as I said, it's just really, really clean and very easygoing and gets decent performance, and especially for $25. Now, if you'll notice the theme here is a lot of like citrus, florals, tea, fig, all those work really well. And then of course, when you're talking about like lavender, iris, also known to relax you. Even patchouli, if it's used in the right way, another relaxing note. So that is going to be pretty much like the standing theme, as well as a lot of musk. And this one doesn't break that trend at all. This one actually comes from a very high-end automotive company. It's Bentley. This is Bentley for Men Azure. Now, if you like a really clean, refreshing easy to wear fragrance, another one that will not break the bank. This one actually has very high quality, especially for the price. This one is primarily like a fresh citrus and tea fragrance with some added light florals. Some of the notes in this one are fresh pineapple, lavender, tea, and tonka bean. Now the performance on this one isn't exactly stellar, but it does smell very, very good. And you know, again, this is another inexpensive one that actually smells higher quality than the price, which is pretty much, you know, like the standard for the fragrances that come from like Bentley or Ferrari. Now, some of the Ferrari fragrances do smell a little cheaper, depending on which line you're pulling them from. But while we're talking about Ferrari, let's go ahead and get to the next one. So as far as Ferrari fragrances and the higher quality ones, you can look for the bottles with the leather looking tops like this. So I actually have a tie coming in at number 6. If you want to go with more of a bright citrus fragrance, Radiant Bergamot. If you're wanting to go with more of a creamier and fruity kind of relaxing fragrance, I would go with Noble Fig. But in Radiant Bergamot, you're going to get some really fresh and really juicy citruses like bergamot and lemon. This also has a nice punch of ginger mixed with some rosemary and some lavender. This is a very well put together fragrance. I find myself really kind of gravitating towards this fragrance, you know, especially when it's really, really hot. It's just a really bright and easy to wear fragrance, non-offensive. Performance is not stellar on this, but again, you know, when we're talking about these fresh fragrances, especially like if you're just wanting to come home in the evening, or if you have a day off where you just want to kind of lounge around or lay in a hammock, sit by the pool, I find that this is going to be a really perfect fragrance for that, as well as the Noble Fig. Some of the notes in Noble Fig is fig, mandarin, iris, and musk. This one has a slightly creamy aspect to it, but it also does have that mandarin in here that gives that little bit of a citrus pop. Okay, so for the first 5, I tried to keep them, you know, relatively, you know, less expensive. So the last 5 are going to be not crazy expensive. I do have a few niche in here, but I wanted to mix it up with some designer, some niche, you know, some that are, you know, fall a little bit, you know, less than $100. Now these are going to be like 95 and up, but they're well worth it. And they're in the bottom 5 for a reason, because they are really, really good. And if you just need that, these will do the trick. Coming in at number 5 is from Barcelona. It is Fig Man. This one is a very unique, fresh, fruity, and aquatic fragrance that has a little bit of depth to it. It has a little bit of earthiness, but I absolutely adore wearing this. If you want to talk about like the perfect fig fragrance, this is one of the best ones I've ever smelled. Fig Man has fig leaves. It also has some bergamot and violet. That violet note in here you can actually pick up, but it is very tame, just enough to give you that relaxing feeling that violet can give you, as long as it's kind of a subtle violet. Then you're gonna have a little bit of spices coming from the cardamom and a really nice mellow tonka bean. Like I said, you know, it is fresh and aquatic. The tonka is really, really dialed down in here just to give it a little push and a little bit of smoothness. This is a very well put together fragrance. I highly recommend Fig Man from Barcelona. Coming in at number 4 is from Imaginary Authors. It's Yesterday Haze. This is a fragrance that I actually like to wear when I am laying in the hammock, just laying out by my dad's pond. It's an 11-acre pond. You know, there's, you know, canoes, paddle boats, a pier, hammocks, a slide for the kids. It's just really, really chill back there. Very private and very relaxing. There seems to always be a breeze coming off a lake. And I actually bought this fragrance a long time ago, and I never read the story, because as some of you may know, Imaginary Authors always has, you know, like a fictional story that goes with their fragrances. Now the story behind this is about a farmer's wife who had a decades-long affair with a crop duster. Now that crop duster just happened to be her husband's boss. So you know that had to really suck. Now it has a quotation in here that says the memory of him is like a rifle in my mouth and the smell of fig is the trigger. Now this one has a really nice fig note in it. It's creamy. It also has a slightly earthy vibe to it. And that comes from the tree bark and walnut bitters as notes in here. But you also have some fig, iris, cream, tonka, and then the imaginary note is orchid dust. So you know that crop duster, I guess that's, you know, going over the orchids, the dude that she was sleeping with, you know, cheating on her husband. Not trying to shame her or whatever, you know, people fall to weaknesses. But yeah, this was my hammock fragrance, but now it's like the scarlet letter fragrance. Neither here or there, still a fantastic fragrance and a really nice and different fig fragrance. I have people reach out to me sometimes because they know how much I like Kilian fragrances, and they're like, yo, I know you really dig all their dark and mysterious fragrances, which is primarily what they carry. But they do have a few freshies, and one that is starting to grow on me more and more and more and more, and definitely fits the suit for the theme of this video. It is Bamboo Harmony. This is a really great fragrance. So this is a white tea fragrance, but it is a little bit green, it's a little bit earthy, it's very unique. There's even something a little sexy about this fragrance. Now it don't scream like sex appeal or anything, but it does seem more of like a well put together fragrance. You know, like if out of any of these, now obviously any of these could be worn, you know, dressed up, going out or whatever. This one seems like a little bit more of a dressed up fragrance though. Other than being a dressed up fragrance, this would be perfect for, you know, laying in a hammock, hanging out at a, you know, a bar by a pool or whatever the case may be. Perfect vacation fragrance. This would be one that I would throw in my bag for vacation for sure. The greenness in this fragrance does come from the bergamot. It also has a note of neroli in here, so it's going to have just a slight floral in here. The neroli is almost undetectable because it's blended really, really well. And then of course you've got those white tea leaves mixed with a earthy and sexy musk. As far as, you know, like a simplistic but still very effective high-end fragrance that is for that chillax mode, Bamboo Harmony. Coming in at number 2 is from Byredo. Yes, it is Mojave Ghost. Yes, this is 100% unisex. Just about every single one of these, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2, are actually marketed unisex. Now, some people say that this smells feminine. I don't think it smells overly feminine whatsoever. It is definitely unisex. I have even heard some people say that it smells masculine, but I really think that it depends on who the wearer is. I think it smells feminine on a woman and it smells masculine on a man. So this is a perfect unisex fragrance. Now this one is very fresh, very uplifting, slightly floral, slightly fruity, but just very, very, very well balanced. So even on the opening on this, you're going to get almost like a sweet musk, which is really, really nice. And then you're going to have the note of sapodilla, which is a fruit that comes from South America. Then some of the florals in here is magnolia and the note of violet again. See the theme here? You know, some of the same notes keep popping up over and over again. But this one also has some cedarwood, some sandalwood, and a little bit of salty ambergris in here. Amazingly put together fragrance. Absolutely adore this one, and it's definitely one of like those zen fragrances. So coming in at number 1 of my most easy to wear, refreshing, relaxing, perfect summertime chillax fragrances is from Nishane. This is Oolong Cha. Yep, when I did the last review on Amber Calibria, there was people all up and down the comments talking about this, and this is an absolute stunner. It is a perfect, uplifting, refreshing, easy to wear fragrance, so well balanced, so well blended, a beautiful, beautiful masterpiece. This is one that you can actually spray liberally if you got the coin to do that. For me, I will do that, but I just have to back off because there's also something about this fragrance that's very addictive. There are some similarities to this and the Bamboo Harmony, but they definitely are different. But there are certain aspects about this fragrance and Bamboo Harmony that I find a little similar, but yet work for the same reasons, if that makes sense. So this is a clean, fresh, milky, and sweet fragrance that is based off of woody fig with citrus. Some of the notes in this one are bergamot, orange, lychee, tea, nutmeg, fig, and musk. So you're getting the best of both worlds with the tea and the fig in this fragrance. Absolute stunner. You definitely need to get your nose on it if you haven't. One of the best summertime relaxing fragrance that I've come across in quite some time. So whether you're in the dry heat of Las Vegas or Texas, or the sticky hot crazy heat of like Louisiana or North or South Carolina or Tennessee or Georgia, somewhere like that, or whatever type of summers that you have in the country that you're in, let me know down in the comments what is your most relaxing or clean, fresh, uplifting fragrance that you like to wear in the summertime. Until next time, I'll see you on Carolina Fragrance Reviews.